Hi, my name is Regina, and today I'm going to show you what to look for when shopping for wood paint. Which wood paint is right for your project? What properties does a good paint have? And how to tell if a paint is of good quality. All these questions will be answered in this video. Let's get started. The most suitable wood paint for you will depend on what you want to use it for. We can distinguish between rigid and elastic wood paint. Wooden furniture, doors, and window frames do not warp. This is why I recommend a rigid wood paint such as our Acrylic Protect or our chalk paint to paint them. Facades, fences, and carports, for example, warp with temperature fluctuations. Wood has a tendency to warp. That's why I recommend an elastic wood paint such as our Acrylic Protect Plus to paint them. When buying paint, you want to get the exact shade that you're looking for. The first mistake people make is choosing paint based solely on the paint swatches chart. Why? The paint can look completely different on a big wall and look nothing like the small paint swatch you saw. My advice? Check if there are any photos showing the colour. That way you can really decide if you like that colour. What properties does a good paint have? Usually great opacity, durability, washability, and overall longevity of the paint. To understand what makes a good paint, you should first know what paints are made of. Paints consist of water, binder, and colorant. There is a rule. The less water and the more binder and colorant, the higher the opacity, durability, washability, and overall longevity of the paint. So the paint has a higher quality. Let's check the opacity. This should be as high as possible. Why? Because you want to make few strokes to finish the job quickly and use less material. Because high material consumption means high costs. My tip: pay not only attention to the price, but also to the information on opacity. Inexpensive paints usually require more coats and thus consume more material because of their poor coverage power. Thus, the cheap paint is usually more expensive in total than a paint that covers immediately. There are 3 classes of opacity power. Class 1 means high coverage, 2 average, and 3 low opacity. Our wood paint is Class 1. This means that with 1 kilogram of paint, you can paint up to 8 meters squared with 100% coverage. To ensure high coverage, you should stir it beforehand. For this reason, you get a stirring stick with every order. Here, that would be opacity Class 1, so the highest coverage possible. What else makes good paint? Longevity. To look good for a long time, the paint should have a high binder content. My tip: look at the wet abrasion resistance of the paint in the datasheet. All our paints have the Class 2 and are therefore scrub resistant and washable. Nowadays, the paint should be as low in pollutants as possible. Paints containing solvents and VOCs can evaporate for years and cause respiratory problems, headaches, and other health problems. My tip: look for a paint that is solvent and VOC free. All information about our paints can be found on our product pages under the button Properties. I hope that I could help you further. See you next time.